So today we are in Carl's backyard. We are going to be doing a test with the brand new NVISAGE NEO-E Launch Monitor. This is a new one from NVISAGE. It is a floor-based launch monitor. They previously only offered a ceiling mount. So like our previous tests, we are going to be doing 20 shots each with a driver, a 6-iron, and a pitching wedge. And we are going to be recording the carry distance for each shot. And we'll also kind of be looking at the shot shape to see how that stacks up against what we see on the computer. Like always, there's going to be variables that come into play. Wind isn't too bad today, but there is a little bit of a breeze maybe blowing at us. We have a pretty flat area out here, so hopefully the ground won't come into play too much. But as always, the human factor is always there, where we do our best to mark where the ball actually lands, but it might always be off just a little bit. So one thing we're going to be doing today is using walkie-talkies. That is mostly for the guy out in the field, Mike, is going to be trying to track the shots. It's really hard to see the shots here in Carl's backyard. So we've got walkie-talkies. You're going to hear me be saying, you know, go left, go right, that sort of thing. That's just for the benefit of Mike, so he knows where to look for the shots and try to minimize the amount of human error that comes into play. So we have been slowly but surely upgrading our backyard facility. When we started off here, we were just hitting mats on the grass. They added the concrete slab for us, and now you can see we've got our pavilion. So if it does start raining, we're gonna be nice and comfortable up here. Mike is gonna have to deal with it out in the field, but he's all right with that, so don't worry about it. So yeah, we're really excited to give the new pavilion a try. So we are gonna start our testing out with 20 shots with the driver. All right, here you go. First official shot. That's way left. NVISAGE had that one starting off pretty straight and drifting just a little bit to the right, but in real life that definitely went further than it looks like on the software.
You know, I've missed doing this. Feels like forever.
That is going to be coming sort of towards you. It'll be a bit to your right. So the NVISAGE had that one at 235 yards. Mike is at 222.
You're not gonna make this putt, you jackass.
Good boy. I was expecting you to yell again.
Oh wow, that's really far.
So just looking at the shot shape, that looked pretty accurate. It was a low shot with a lot of hook to it. And I was expecting to hear him call me a jackass again in my backswing. So it's 208 to Mike. Ugh. That's 189 from the NVISAGE. Right at you.
Heads up. Oh, jeez. Holy.
I said right at you. Pay attention. That's going to be to your right. 229 to Mike and 218 from NVISAGE. Left. Right at you, right at you. Just see him scatter.
Almost pulled a quad with that sprint.
234 to Mike, 236 from the NVISAGE. All right, so looking over the shots with the driver, the first thing that stands out is it wasn't super consistent. There were some shots where the real life carry distance was showing longer. There were some shots where the launch monitor is showing longer. We were kind of all over the place there. The actual difference that we saw averaged about 8.8 yards difference, which was about 4.25%. So overall, it kind of balanced out. We've definitely seen worse from launch monitors. So it's not bad. The shot shape, I think when I was paying attention to that, was pretty accurate. Sometimes I felt like maybe my shot was going a little further to the right than the NEO-E was showing, but it was getting at least the correct direction that it was going with when I was looking at that. All right, now we are going to be doing 20 shots with a 6-iron. Way right, so far right, holy right. That's better. That's gonna be just to your left. I'm sorry, right, because I'm backwards sometimes still. Catherine's over here correcting me, knowing that I'm an idiot. She's already got that figured out. 184 to Mike, 190. It's 189.7, but I'm giving it 190. Two, right at you, right at you, right at you. Okay, that ended up short. It's so hard to judge the distance and how far away it is from you. 150 and 151 from the launch monitor. Left. 64 from Mike. 176 from the launch monitor. That's going to be to your right. 167 to Mike. 177 from the launch monitor. All right, so we are looking over the data for the 6-iron. It was pretty consistent in that the yardage difference from real life to the launch monitor, the real life carry distance is always measuring shorter than the launch monitor was. It wasn't as consistent with the distance that it was off. We had some that were pretty close to spot on, but then we also had one that was 17 yards of difference. So there's some inconsistency there. Average distance that it was off was by about 7.5 yards, which isn't bad. That equals to about 4.5% average difference in distance. So I did notice the shot shape for the most part was good. There was 1 or 2 shots where I looked over and I felt like my shot was going either straight or to the right. The NVISAGE had it going maybe a little bit to the left instead, but that was not super frequent. For the most part, it seemed like it was getting the shot shape pretty well.
All right, and now we're gonna do 20 shots with the pitching wedge. To your right a little bit. 122 in real life to 124.7. John threw me off with all the different numbers he was throwing out there. Turning right, your right. 130 to 131.8. Little to your right. 115 to 116. Just to your right a little bit, stay there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the screen it's very easy to see. I mean, we got bright sunlight shining on it here. It's similar to, it reminds me of like the Unicore iMini. Like it's very easy to see, no reflection problems. I mean, I do have my glasses on, so, but yeah, I mean, it looks pretty easy to read. The interface itself, I don't know, maybe could use a little work. Like I think it's maybe a little jumbled or kind of hard to find out where you're looking, but you know, the contrast is good and it's easy to pick up, you know, words and stuff, so. All right, so looking at the pitching wedge numbers, very impressive, honestly. It was an average of 1.695 yards off. So we'll just round that to 1.7, which was about 1.5%. Compared to driver and 6-iron, honestly, like that was very impressive. And the biggest difference in yardage on one shot was 5.4 yards, but everything else was within like 2.5 yards. I would say, you know, 90% of the shots. So I'm pretty impressed by the Neo-E with the pitching wedge. As far as shot shape goes, anytime I looked over at the software, the Merly software that was animating my shot from the Neo-E compared to real life, it was almost dead on accurate. Every time it went left or right, you know, it was spot on.
Final thoughts on the NVISAGE Neo-E Launch Monitor. It did fairly well at the testing for the price point that this is at. It's going to be a good launch monitor. You know, it's going to be compatible with some of the more popular third-party softwares like GS Pro, like E6, which is always a bonus. So you're going to have plenty of courses to choose from. So the NVISAGE Neo-E, it's really nice because it is both an indoor and an outdoor launch monitor. You can take it with you to the range if you want to measure your shots. You don't have to have a computer if you don't want to. When you take it to the range, it does have a screen built right into the launch monitor. You can see it was a pretty bright day out today. We didn't really have any issues seeing all the data that came across the screen. You can also wirelessly connect it to a computer, which is super nice. You're not going to have cables running all over your room if you do have it hooked up in your indoor golf simulator. Speaking of that, the software that comes with it is pretty straightforward. Like a lot of different launch monitors, it's basically just a driving range that you can hit on, get some shots in, get your data. You can see different shot views, the distance that it was, off center, that sort of thing. So plenty of data right on the software. It seemed easy enough to navigate through everything. And then one thing that I always love in a launch monitor is the replay of your club coming through and striking the ball. So you can really see what that contact looked like on your swing. And you do get that from the Neo-E with the software that it comes with. So that is always a huge bonus in my book. So that wraps up today's testing with the NVISAGE Neo-E. If you think that this is a launch monitor that you might be considering, let us know in the comments below. And also let us know if there's any additional launch monitors you want to see us bring out here to Carl's backyard and try out. So definitely comment below. And as always, we will see you in the next one.